Hello fellow cinephiles, welcome to Film Cafe. Joining me today is Alex and NetX5. Today we'll be reviewing Kubo and the Two Strings. It's from the company who brought us films like Caroline and Paranorman. It's directed by Travis Knight, and it's the story of a young boy who after a certain event goes on a quest to find 3 items of armour, and it's about him and his journey and the characters that go with him, and that's who we meet throughout the story. So we'll begin with what we all thought of it overall.
Well, I thought the movie was very, very, very good. I mean, it's been ages since an animated movie has kept me that just in awe of all of it. Not only is it's probably the best animated film this year so far,
yeah,
but it's also probably one of my favourite animated films of all time.
Interesting. What did you think?
It was okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. But just like, it's not a bad movie. I didn't hate a thing about it, but there were just things about it that did bug me. It's nothing major, like just little nitpicks I have. But overall, I did very much enjoy this film. Like one of the best animated films I have seen in a while.
Well, yeah, I was blown away by it as soon as it started with the opening sequence. I just thought it was so well done and such a simple and creative way to tell a story. And this story was so simple but effective.
Yeah. So let's talk what we all think about the story.
Alright.
It was a pretty solid story, and just like, I did feel like I was part of this quest with this character and like the companions he comes across, and like it was a very engaging story. A bit choppy at times, a bit inconsistent, but pretty good story.
Yeah, no, I thought it was, like I said a minute ago, it was very simple. Sort of simple story, but when it's a simple story, you're able to tell it in a creative way because you know what you're doing and what you're saying. And it sort of harked back to like Japanese mythology, like stories like that, and with the paintings on the wall and stuff that they did, which like the Buddhists sort of do as well, you know, when they tell a story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought that the story was simple,
Yeah.
but just as it's simple, but the way they told it added much more layers to the story, added so much more to the characters.
Yeah.
The way I looked at it, it kind of reminds me a lot of the first Toy Story movie story, in terms of it's being a very simple concept, but it's, in its execution has proven to be a much more bigger story with a lot more characters, a lot more arcs, and you can look at the story as just some on the surface, but underneath there's so much more to it. So I really, really liked it. Yeah.
Okay, so what did we think of characters?
I like these characters. Like, I liked Kubo, I liked Matthew McConaughey as the Beetle, and I very much like Charlize Theron as the Monkey. Even if it's a good or bad film, Charlize Theron adds so much weight to any role she's given. And I also liked the villain, which was played by Ralph Fiennes and Rooney Mara.
Yeah.
Like these were good characters. These were good characters with great voice actors behind them.
Yeah, what did you think of the
I
characters?
thought that Kubo was a very, very well developed character. He had so much, even though what's happened to him in his life, it really showed impact. And this show, the voice acting of Kubo was top notch. I thought it was really, really, really good. I felt that Charlize Theron's character was very, very, I would say it's probably one of the best characters. She kind of steals the show a bit for me. Just the way that she delivers the lines and the actual emotion behind each character, and it really shows that the character cares. And yeah, I thought all the characters were just amazing.
Yeah, I'd agree. I thought they were really well developed, sort of fun, and it was Matthew McConaughey's first sort of animated sort of film that he was in, and I thought he did a really good job. And what was really good, I felt, is throughout the story they stuck to the character. So this is the character, and then they didn't go change, like they grew but they didn't change from what they began with. And I thought, yeah, everybody was brilliant. And Rooney Mara's the sisters, they were really cool design, like sort of, yeah, I really enjoyed that.
So yeah, so what did we think of the animation of the film?
Stop motion animation is my number one favorite type of animation. It's just you can tell so much more of a story with stop motion, like with computer generated and traditional animation. Just like you can't tell an in-depth and just very detailed story, but with stop motion you can tell so much, like in the characters' expressions and just the visual look of it, and just here it just looks visually stunning. Every scene just looks like a piece of art, and I was just impressed the whole way through with this animation.
So Sean, what did you think of the animation?
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. It's like time consuming, and you get to, at the end of the movie's finished, you get to see a bit of it and how it's sort of put together. And I just think it's really clever, and they use the same sort of stuff in the Little Prince too. And it's just something about it. It's very 3D, and it sort of makes you, I don't know, it sweeps you up in it. It's sort of like, it's sort of realistic in a way. It's very, very well done. Very clever.
I would say that I'm not saying that so far it is the best looking movie I think of this year.
Yeah.
It's very, very well done. The effort that everyone put into each of these models, and just the way that it looks. You can still get the sense it's stop motion animation, but it looks fluid. The movements were all fluid. You did not notice much slowdown at all.
Yeah.
And it really showed what because based for their past films such as Caroline is all completely stop motion animation, but this movie really showed me that how CGI and animated backgrounds can really work really well with stop motion animation, adding a lot to the story and making it feel a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably call it one of the best looking films of this year so far.
Okay. So, what did we think overall? What would we give this out of 5?
Well, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's so far one of the best animated movies we've had this year. Maybe for me personally, so far in the past 5 years, I felt really attached to these characters, and I thought that the story was perfectly simple and it was a beautiful film. I would give it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
For me, while I absolutely didn't love this movie 100%, as I did find it a bit inconsistent, and some things they didn't explain very well as I wanted them to, but I still love this movie. It still has great characters, a good story, great animation, which was top notch. And even though there are a couple of nitpicks in here that I just did bother me, I still like this film, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, well, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of the best films of the year so far. I loved the story. It was full of emotion and wonderful, interesting characters, and the animation was brilliant. So I'd probably give it the same as you, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think it was, I was really impressed with it, and I was happy that I was able to see a film like that, and they still make these great films and telling a story.
So we'll probably say that the average is at 4 stars.
Yeah.
Out of taking the both out of them thing, and yeah, I think that's a very good score. And it deserves the acclaim it's getting at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has been a review from Film Cafe, and we are
Film Cafe. And before we wrap up, if you can't tell, we had a little special guest with us today. This little fella,
Billy. We didn't even ask him any questions.